All right, ladies, gentlemen, gamers, and League of Legends lovers, welcome back to everyone's favorite bi-weekly activity, because everyone's favorite weekly activity is Tower of God reading. The bi-weekly activity I'm talking about, as some of you might have guessed, is the patch notes review, which I review with my mega mind. I react to it, and I see Riot Games' folly as they continue to degrade this game and the gaming experience of longtime players like moi. But anyway, we're up to patch 13.8. I have no clue what they're going to do because, as I always say, surrender at 20 is dead. And I take that as a national tragedy. I don't know why no one has revived it. I don't know why Riot did not pay this man to run the site. But it is what it is. It is what it is, unfortunately. So, if anything, it makes for a better reaction because I have no clue what's happening aside from little whispers and rumblings I hear here and there. Rumbling. But anyway, let's get into the patch notes. Let's see what's going on, and let's try and make this quick because I have a busy day ahead of me. So, let's see what's happening. Get ready, it's time for the mid-season Invitational patch. Okay, so another patch centered straight around pro play. Oh boy. 13 teams from all around the world will battle it out for the title of MSI Champion, which guarantees you a spot at Worlds. It is going to be on patch 13.8, which is this one. It's going to start on May 2nd, which is soon, I guess. So make sure you mark those calendars. I certainly won't because mid-season does not matter, aside from the winners. We're also shaking things up with new format for the tournament. Oh, whoa! And if you want to check it out, you could do it because I don't care about that shit. At least not enough. Now, granted, if the professional stuff gets more views on my channel, then maybe I might be into more competitive league, but I'm not I Will Dominate. I don't, too often watch the pro games and commentate over them because there's not a market for it, at least for me. But if you're interested, go look it up. So, for MSI, we're focusing on introducing more champion diversity into pro play. Isn't that a word they love throwing around? This is coming in the form of buffs for some underutilized champions, like Ezreal. Yeah, as if he's underutilized. That's the first line. Leona. That's kind of true. And Lilia, of all things. That's surprising. While we address some of the overpowered picks, like J4, Malphite, which is shocking, and Rakan, which is also shocking. But that's not all. We also have some quality of life improvements to challenges. A new set of Night and Dawnbringer skins, which I actually forgot about that skin line, because usually they have a whole event themed around it. And right now we're not in that event. We're in the other event. I forgot what it was, but it's not Dawnbringer and Nightbringer, which is interesting. They usually center the event around those. And last, but certainly not least, we're introducing the ability to report players from match history. Holy Jesus. Wow. That's really interesting. Let's talk about that when we get to it. So, I'm going to go over the skins afterward. Oh, no. Oh, no, not my boy. Not my boy. So, for those of you who don't know, I'm an ASOL aficionado. I think his rework blew it out of the park, or rather, into the stars. Call me freak. But I think the ASOL rework is very, very, very good. I think it's amazing. I'm sad that they nerfed it already. Or not already, but like, they nerfed it over time. They really nerfed the E cooldown, which is the main crux of the whole kit. But honestly, he's still fun. He's still pretty good. He's not as crazy, but he's still good. I hope they don't gut him, and I hope they leave him alone because they said it themselves. He's the poster boy. He's one of the poster boys, so don't touch him. Let's see what they're doing. Health growth decreased, armor growth decreased. Okay, so they're making him squishier, which is honestly fair, because his build naturally makes him really healthy. So, legend has it that ASOL is still scaling. It is infinite, especially in non-elite tiers of play. Yeah, he's a pub stomper. So we need to bring the Space Dragon down to Earth, or Runeterra. We want to maintain ASOL's current damage levels, but these changes should balance out his damage and squishiness, leaning him to be more of a glass dragon. It's pretty funny. So, his health growth is going down by 5. So, 5, let me get my handy-dandy calculator out right here. 5 times 18 is going to lead to an overall loss of 90 health, I believe, at max level. Don't quote me on that, though. And the armor growth is going down by 0.3, so 0.3 times 18 is going to lead to 5.4 armor loss, which doesn't sound like a lot, but the way armor works in League, it's decent. So these are decent nerfs. They're not crazy nerfs, they're decent nerfs, but at least they touch nothing from his actual kit. So he's just a little bit easier to kill, which is honestly fine, because what he does, if you're on the receiving end, it feels like you're just getting rammed up your ass, and it's probably very frustrating. But cool, this is good. This is not too bad. Ezreal. I hate Ezreal. Ezreal's a wiener AD. If Ezreal's doing good, that means ADCs in general are not doing that good. If a non-crit ADC is meta, that means crit sucks, which means as a majority, the whole class of ADC sucks by proxy. So the fact that they're buffing Ezreal is not really too interesting to me. I don't really like this, but what are they doing? The current bot lane in pro play has a hyper carry on both sides, as it should be, and hasn't allowed for many non-hyper carries to compete, which is interesting. Well, I wonder why hyper carries are back in the meta. It's because you caused their build path to be bumped up into a second item crux instead of a third item crux. Now, since they changed IE to be allowed to build second, now hyper carries are getting online earlier, which was their whole problem, which is why they weren't being played, which was why IE was changed in the first place. So the change worked. In their opinion, it worked a little too well, and at least they're not nerfing it. At least they're not nerfing it. At least they're not nerfing AD, so there's something good that comes out of this. And Ezreal is technically an AD, and I do like ADs, and he's getting a buff. So overall, it's not bad. I like this. I like it, but I don't like it at the same time. But anyway, let's see what they're doing. We want to give Ezreal a little bit more oomph in order to shake things up, Thug Shaker, in the bot lane situation, but to also make him better at playing into scaling marksman. So his base AD is going up by 2. I don't even need a calculator for this. He's gaining 36 AD later on, which is not bad. That's pretty much almost an item. Wait, no, I'm stupid. It's not scaling AD, it's his base AD. So he's literally just getting +2 damage early. Level 1. That's not really going to shake up too much in my mind. But whatever. I guess this is the buff they're giving him, which if this is the buff, so be it. I don't want Ezreal being spammed, I don't want him being used, and I don't want him being that good. He could be alright, but he can't be that good. Okay, Garen. Garen is not that good right now. Garen is Garen, and if you play Garen, you know what that means. He has his counters, he has counter picks. Excuse me. And he's pretty one-dimensional, and he's not doing that great, but he's not doing that bad either. Garen hasn't been living his best spin to win life recently, meaning he hasn't been able to win early trades against other melees, which is supposed to be one of his strong points. That's true. He's supposed to win extended trades, and then he's supposed to just, hang back and then regen it. Garen, to me, is always a top safe pick. If you want to be safe in top lane, he's like the Ezreal of top lane. He honestly is like the Ezreal of top lane. Like, if you're playing not stupidly and you're not trying to die, then he's actually really good. Like, he's really good to stall out the lane to at least go even. He's like a pick where, like, you have to really try to int on him, or the enemy has to really just skill gap you. But that being the case, they want Garen to be a fantasy because he's also a poster child of League, so they're going to buff him, which I agree with. So his base AD is going up by 3, which is ironic. It's more than Ezreal's. And then his base armor, and it's going to 69. How nice. And his base armor is going up by 2, which is really good. So Garen, decent buffs, but still not great. All the buffs I'm assuming we're going to see, because they're centered around pro play, aren't going to be that crazy. But again, we'll definitely see. So, Janna, the Windy Titty. Let's see what they're doing to Janna. I honestly don't know how she is. I haven't seen too much Janna in the times that I've played. I feel like she's kind of weak, and I don't know why. I don't remember the last time they touched her, so they're probably going to buff her. In this patch, we're giving Janna some ability to get a little bit more aggressive in lane. Also making her shielding early a lot less punishing for players who want to preempt their teammates to go in for trades with E. So, the magic damage on W is going up. Get ready to see poke Janna again, because it's going up base damage and scaling, which is a little And then the shield decay timer is up from 1.25 to 2.5. That is essentially doubling it. So you get to have the shield for double the amount of time, which isn't long, looking at it, but it's long in terms of what they're giving you. And until 2.5 seconds, or after 2.5 seconds passes, then it'll decay. Honestly, these are really good. I think these are really good. They're not crazy, but they're good. So far, all of these things have been really good. Not overbearing, not underwhelming. Well, some of them were underwhelming, but so far they're decent. So Jarvan, we already know he's getting nerfed. What are they doing to him? Ever since the W buffs, Jarvan has been excelling in solo queue. He has always been a strong early ganker, that is true, but now he can build damage and reliably transition his lead due to his AD ratios on his W. We're looking to tone down his power that still incentivizes him to build AD. So they don't ever want to see tank like J4 again, because tank J4 is just fucking boring, let's be honest. J4 is meant to be a damage dealer. He's not meant to be a nuker, which is what I'm fearful of, but he's meant to be a damage dealer. So let's see how they're doing it. His growth is going down. I'm not going to do the math for that one, honestly, I don't care. And then the Q damage is going down by 10. Again, in line with all the buffs we've seen and nerfs we've seen, it's something. It's not crazy, it's not too negligible, but this one is on the weaker side, but Jarvan's a tad bit worse. So, Kayn. What do I think of Kayn? I think Kayn is always going to be a great jungler as long as Red Kayn is good. I think Blue Kayn is always going to stand behind Red Kayn no matter what. I think Red Kayn is just the superior Kayn. Unless it's a very niche pick into a very niche game where they're all squishy and you could just, two-shot them, or one-shot them, really. I think Red Kayn is always going to win out, especially in pro play. I think, unless, the enemy team is fighting NA, I don't think they'll ever go Blue Kayn. But I think Red Kayn is pretty good. Now, granted, I haven't seen Kayn, but they're talking about pro play here, so I don't think it even matters if I did see Kayn. So what are they doing? Shadow Assassin Kayn stands above many junglers in terms of win rate and ban rate. See, how do they know it's Shadow Assassin and not Red? Especially in Eastern regions. Ah, yes. Eastern, of course. Of course they abuse everything. We're trimming the uptime of his Shadow Step to make him a little easier to punish. Honestly, this is fair. So the bonus move speed is going down by 10%, and the cooldown is going up by 2 seconds. I would honestly say the cooldown hurts way more than the movement speed. This is probably on a little bit of the stronger side of buffs that we've seen recently. Or, sorry, nerfs that we've seen so far. But, not bad, not bad. I'm all for de-incentivizing the use of Shadow Assassin because Red is superior. Okay, Bug. I think Bug is terrible. I hate Bug. I hate the character. This is not a secret. I hate Bug. I hate Lee Sin. I hate Elise. I think these characters need to be reworked or removed because Kha'Zix's fantasy specifically is so niche, it is too niche. You can't actively do it and have fun, and it'll only happen sometimes. And in pro play, I don't see this ever really working. So what are they doing? Q base damage increased. We've adjusted Kha'Zix's last patch to ensure that his isolation passive wasn't working against him too much. He's much more able to isolate and kill enemies, which is good. All of Kha'Zix's whole thing is so sad because his whole thing is centered around evolution and evolving the right way to basically get your targets isolated. But the problem is they can't be isolated unless they want to be. Or unless you catch them out. But for the most part, unless they're just being stupid, even a minion wave will make them not isolated. Like, Kha'Zix's whole thing is they have to be isolated. And if they're isolated, you should win, which even sometimes then you don't. But I just think Kha'Zix is a sad character with a sad thematic. And it's executed correctly. It's just a bad thematic in general. The isolation mechanic is bad. They do it well, right? Like, okay, if you're isolated, Kha'Zix should, win. And most of the time, he pretty much does. But the problem is the mechanic itself is just terrible. Like, fuck isolation. People are not going to be isolated if they're good. They're going to be grouped up. It's so stupid. But anyway, they're buffing him even more. So what are they doing? They're buffing his Q from 60 to 70, and it's just 10 damage. Okay, cool. I did that whole thing for nothing. Slightly better. Oh my god. We're getting Kog'Maw changes. No way. No way in hell. So if there's anything to go off of, it's the fact that Kog'Maw is not really used. Kog'Maw is not really used almost at all. I'm pretty much one of the few last dying Kog'Maw players. And I think that's telling. I think we need a Kog'Maw legendary at one point or another. I don't know when we're going to get it, but I think we deserve it. And I think this is probably a step in the right direction, because if Kog'Maw's used more, they're going to give him more skins, hopefully a legendary. What are they doing? The Void Puppy is in a rough spot, that's true. Being an immobile carry whose gameplay pattern revolves around one ability, that's very true. Recently, we focused a lot of attention on pushing the power in Bio Arcane Barrage when changing Kog'Maw. So his ult, which is dumb. See, this is what I hate, right? They had the vote for the VGU, and Kog'Maw did not win that vote. He was in it, but he didn't win it. And they said if he wins, right? And they're not saying like they won't ever do it. It's just that they're not going to do it now. So they maybe will do it eventually. But they said if he wins, they want to try and retain AD and AP Kog'Maw. But if push comes to shove, they're scrapping AP. They're getting rid of it. So if the main way they pull or push his power, right, is with Bio Arcane Barrage, which I believe is his W. No, wait. I thought that was his ult. Wait, am I actually a Kog'Maw main? Hold on. Let me see Kog'Maw's abilities. The Mouth of the Void. This is on the League of Legends site. Wait, no. I think this is good, actually. Does this say his abilities? It does. Yeah, okay, no. It is his W. I'm stupid. I forgot what his ult is called. God, it's been a while. Nah. Alright, cool. Everyone's going to bed in my house. Anyway, as I was saying, so the W, the Bio Arcane Barrage, which is weird that it has Arcane in it, similar to the League of Legends show on Netflix, Arcane. But yeah, basically the main way you buffer nerf Kog'Maw is just do that one thing. Nothing else in his kit matters unless he's going some stupid ass AP build, which shouldn't be done in the first place. So the main way you make Kog'Maw good and Kog'Maw bad is through one ability, which overall, I mean, it's just bad design because that's why they want to rework him. He's outdated. His kit is literally one ability. You could go the entire game and not do anything else but W. And it's kind of sad. Obviously, other stuff is going to help you, but his W is the crux of his kit. It's what defines the champion, honestly. Similar to how Yorick's ult defines him, but it's not fully defining because he has the ghoulies. But anyway, Kog'Maw is definitely, for a long time, not a good spot. I really hope they buff him. So, what are they doing? We think Kog'Maw has more to offer than being one-button pony, which is not true, unless you're going AP, like I said. So we're buffing up his other abilities so that he's a bit more free to use his spells meaningfully before he focuses on solely auto-attacking late game. Interesting. So what are they doing? So they're changing his passive, which, if you know anything, if you play Kog'Maw perfectly, Kog'Maw doesn't have a passive. And this passive, by the way, being a Kog'Maw main, I actually know the ins and outs of it. This thing is highly buggy, by the way. You're supposed to die and not be able to do anything, but there's times where I've personally gone into passive. Now, granted, I don't read all the bug fixes they put at the end of the patch, but maybe they fixed it at one point or another. But there was a long time where when you die as Kog'Maw, you could do an extra auto attack while you're in passive. And it's actually stupid because it does matter. One auto from a Kog'Maw matters. But anyway, Kog'Maw is now ghosted while in his passive form. And they're buffing his true damage, which is really good because if you're going to die, you might as well nuke him and take him with you. And he's ghosted, which was a big thing. The minion block that would occur sometimes with his passive was very annoying, and they're just making it more quality of life, and they're straight up buffing it. So that's really good. I still think it's a garbage passive. I think they should give him a real one. They need to do to him what they did to Kel. They need to make Kog'Maw a fantasy. Kog'Maw needs to be the Giga carry. And they did this once before, historically speaking. Once before they did this when they were able to double Kog'Maw's attack speed when he used W. And it was so broken they reverted it. But before they did, it was amazing. Like, Kog'Maw actually was the late game fantasy AD. It was amazing. But anyway, the cooldown of Q is going down by 1 second. That's pretty okay. And then the E is going down in mana cost by a significant margin. I would like to say 60 to 40. And the slow is going from 20 to 30. But it's getting slightly larger late game. Overall, again, in line with a lot of the changes, it's pretty good. Nothing crazy except, I guess, the passive. But even then, that's not too crazy. Because if there's no minions, it's just doing slightly more damage. But, yeah, not bad. I mean, again, very seasoned and contained buffs. So pretty good. Leona. I think Leona is just also a part of the big issue of the support problem. Mages are still being played. Why play a tank? They need to buff tanks, right? And you would think with all the new items coming in from the new season, with all the tank shit, that they'd be played more. But no, they weren't. It was just mainly for top laners, honestly. And it's sad. But anyway, let's see what they're doing to Leona. I really, really hope they buff her well. Which, again, according to history so far, in this patch note session, it's not going to be anything crazy. So, Leona is another champion who's been struggling to find her place on the Rift, often being eclipsed by other engaged supports, which is weird. I feel like Leona is one of the best engagers, but she is limited by range, I guess. In order to promote some more diversity in the bot lane, we're upping her durability and damage so she can shine just a little brighter. So, I'm actually sad I read that because my hypothesis for how to fix Leona was make her a fucking meat. So, Leona's main issue is two things, right? Number one, she has a little bit of a hard time getting on you. Once she's on you, right? And if she doesn't have ult, she basically has to just walk at you. And if she fails, she gets harassed for it. She gets punched in the face. So what's the main way you could combat that? Give her more range, which they're not going to do, or make her more durable. I don't know where the damage part came from. I'm going to be straight honest. I don't know why they want to give her more damage. I mean, giving anyone more damage is good to its limits, of course. But I guess they want to sprinkle that on top because they really want Leona to be used. But anyway, my main thing, which they said, and I agree with, is she needs to be more durable. Because even if she makes it into the fight, by the time she's going to try and get into the fight, she's going to get harassed. And then when she's in the fight, she's getting harassed. And you basically want to have Leona live to keep being useful. Obviously, you know, it's a no-brainer. Duh, anyone who's living is going to be useful, except in ranked. So with Leona, it's double so because her cooldowns are so low. And she really, like, just sticks on people. It's crazy. So, what are they doing? Her bonus armor is going up by 5. That's whatever. Her bonus MR is probably doing the same thing. Yes, it is. And then her magic damage is going up by 10, which really is not too bad. You know, 45 to 55, again, it's in line with the rest of the patch. I'm going to keep saying it every time it's applicable. These are like contained small buffs. It's okay. It's an okay buff. Leona's slightly better. Okay, Lilia. So, I was a Lilia stan when she first came out. For those of you who don't know, I love Dot. Dot is one of my favorite aspects in almost every game. I love damage over time. I love just putting something on the enemy and then just watching them slowly die or not so slowly die. And Lilia, when she was, you know, revealed and I was watching her, I was like, oh my god, she's going to be the queen of Dot. I love it. And for the most part, she's decent. I don't think she's as good as I wish she was. And then there was some, like, weird top nonsense. I still believe that in certain picks, top Lilia is way better than jungle. I think jungle Lilia kind of falls behind in almost every aspect. I don't think she's competitively viable personally, but I haven't seen pro play to really know. But they have to buff her. They literally have to buff her. There's no way. So what are they doing? Passive damage to monsters increased, healing against monsters increased, healing against champions adjusted. So they might be nerfing top Lilia here. In an effort to create more diversity in champion picks at the mid-season Invitational, we're buffing a few damage-reliant AP junglers. Well, they're not buffing Elise, thank God. In order to bring a different type of champion into pro play viability. There are a few interesting things going on with Lilia currently. She's got a pretty welcoming theme for new players. Yeah, it's pretty true. She's not too crazy. She has skill expression for sure with her Q, with her W, with her E, with her ult, with everything. But even if you fuck it up, you're not that far off. Now, obviously, the higher you go, the more it matters. But at a friendly, low player level, she's not bad. She's definitely not bad. But anyway, her jungle clear requires strong kiting in order to come out with enough health. So we're amplifying her early jungle safety. On the pro side of things, her clear speed is the most important lever. On top of those changes, we're taking the opportunity to ensure that AP items contribute more meaningfully to her in-combat healing. So they're making it scale. I already know what they're doing. Instead of being it generically available regardless of build. So they're making her more focused towards AP. They don't want her building some hybrid tank nonsense, which, you know, is sometimes what's done. So what are they doing? There's a lot of shit here to read. So the damage is going up by 20. This is up to 40% more damage at level 1 against monsters with over 1300 HP, tapering to 0 at less than 949. Raptor has 1100, while Red, Blue, Gromp, and Wolf all hit the new max HP. So basically, they're saying you're going to do 40% more damage to almost everything, which is cool. Level 1, mind you. So the healing is going up from 24 to 39, which is really good. And the AP scaling is going bananas bonkers, which you already can build Riftmaker on her. So your healing's actually going to be really goated. Now, what did they do against champions? This is what I'm scared of. So before it was 6 to 120 with 18% scaling. Now it's 6 to 90 with 30% scaling. Overall, I don't know if that's better. It obviously depends on the build. I'm not going to crunch the numbers right now, but I mean, hey, Jungle Lilia seems a lot better. A lot better. I think this is the most powerful buff we've seen so far this patch, which I'm happy it's on Lilia too. Okay, Malphite. So the main thing I'll say about Malphite is his fucking... I don't know what it is, but even on TikTok, I've been seeing just Malphite clips of Malphite building full tank, killing 3 people just over time because he just beats them to death, and then he gets away. And I'm like, bro, this is a tank. Now, granted, I do think some straight tanks should be able to do damage, Ornn being one of them, which he is. But Malphite should also be another one. Rammus is another one, and Amumu is kind of there, but not really. Like, Amumu does it, but he could build AP. I mean, so could Malphite, but I would consider Malphite, Ornn, and I guess Rammus, if he's niche, and Amumu as, like, the tanks who build tank but still do damage. So, and I guess Sedge too. But, yeah, no, Malphite's been kind of crazy. I don't know why. He's been really, really crazy. Niche that. He's been kind of really crazy, but let's see what they're doing. And now my whole house is asleep, so we should have no more interruptions. But anyway, we'll cut the rock puns out for now. Malphite's been more than just a solid top laner. The cooldown and damage buffs to his Thunderclap, his W, greatly increased his ability to trade and push waves at near infinite uptime come late game. I don't really think that's an issue, though. Malphite could use some added weight to his abilities late game, but the amount of damage he delivers is on the high end for a tank. That is very true, because he scales off of it, just like Cassante, especially when maxed first. So we're reeling in his damage a bit and hopefully evening out Malphite's skill ordering. So basically, they don't want you maxing W. So what are they doing? They are making... Jesus Christ, there's so many numbers here. They're halving... Wait, no, are they? Wait, what are they doing here? Okay, so they're shaving off 20 damage later on. And then off the cleave damage, they're shaving off 5% armor. Yeah, I mean, again, similar in line with the whole thing. Slight nerf, you know, contained nerf. Nidalee. This character is another one. She needs to be removed or reworked. Nidalee fucking sucks. I hate Nidalee. So what are they doing? Nidalee gains around 6% win rate as MMR rises and is balanced around elite players. Wow. Actually, that's actually crazy. As a result, she performs poorly in the hands of most players. Ah, yes. While part of the win rate loss can be explained by champion mastery, her extremely early dominance and required snowballing is also partly to blame. Bad character design. However, giving her a strength other than snowballing early game jungler is a pretty large task. Our goal here is to ease up her early clear slightly, making her more durable in the hands of players who haven't mastered her clear yet. Additionally, more durability should help her better pounce in for takedowns. So basically, they don't know what to do with her, so they're just saying, okay, we're going to make her a little bit more healthy. I honestly think they don't know what to do, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see more Nidalee changes in the future. So her base armor is going up by 4, which is not insignificant. That's contained, but good. And then her armor growth is going up by 0.3. So again, she's decently more durable. Decently more durable. Not bad. Not bad. Still in line with what we expect, though. Poppy, Papadopoulos. Poppy is a very fun pick to watch in any competitive scene. Poppy's really good. She shuts people down. She's just a fucking, like, hammer-wielding bitch. And she has a lot of playmaking potential. I think Poppy is very cool to watch. So they're probably going to buff her. Poppy has seen better days, and she hasn't excelled in any of her roles for a while. Yeah, but when she does, Jesus Christ, she's oppressive. So they're looking to give her some bulkiness. So her target health damage is going up by 1%, which is okay. And then her W, her steadfast presence, is getting to make her more tanky. Note, this will be doubled to 24 while Poppy is below 40% health. So it's gaining 2 to 4% if you're low. Again, slight buffs. Slight buffs, nothing crazy. Rakan, I can't believe personally that Rakan is actually that crazy good. I mean, he is a really, really good engager, even though he's still nerfed. I remember back in the day when they took away Rakan's W speed, I really thought they killed the character. And then they gave some of it back because they did kill the character. But they didn't give it all back, but I'm still surprised to see he's this good. I don't understand why, because all of Rakan has to me is like engage. And there's other people that I think can engage better than him because he goes in and he pretty much dies. Like, he's not tanky. He is not tanky. So he doesn't do good poke. He's not that tanky, and his healing is fucking insignificant. So the main things is, I guess, his ability to come in and out. Because again, people like Leona, people like Nautilus and stuff, right? Maybe Nautilus might be the exception because he has his anchor. He could Q the wall. But people like Thresh, people like Leona, people like Alistar, once they go in, they're in. Rakan can go in and sort of go out. So maybe that's the case. And also, he has pretty decent cooldowns, I'm assuming. I don't know because I don't remember. But I think that's Rakan's main strength. He could go and he could go out. So, what are they doing? Rakan's win rate and presence have been ramping up since 13.3 buffs, especially in the higher skilled bracket. Like Xayah, we love his versatility and general shape. However, it's time to put him more in line by making him a little bit more vulnerable when he's missing his spells. So, what are they doing? His base armor is going down by 2, and his armor growth is going down by 0.2. Useless. Well, not useless, but slight nerf, as always. As is this whole patch. Okay. Cosmic Drive. I feel like Cosmic Drive is not a very utilized item. For the pure fact that if you're a mage, you work off cooldowns, right? You're not an ADC where you're constantly dishing out damage. You're a mage working off cooldowns. So while it is cool you get movement speed, there's only very few people that can really utilize this. Excuse me. And that's people like Vladimir, like who the fuck else has really, really low ass cooldowns? The main person coming to mind right now, ironically enough, is fucking Vladimir. Uh fuck, who else? I know there's one more, but I forget who. But basically, um Cosmic Drive is there so you can kite around, so you can kind of, oh, Rise. It was Rise. I was stupid. It was Rise. So Rise and Vladimir are the two people that come to mind that really build this, right? Or who want to build this in terms of their kits, at least to me. So everyone else, I mean, yeah, you could build it, but it's kind of like, why? Why are you building it? I mean, sure, it's nice to have move speed, but unless you want to stick on them, like the only other person I see that might get it is Ziggs because his cooldowns are so low, but his shit you can easily just do from so far of a range, and you have a lot of self peel anyway, so you don't necessarily want to stick on them, you want to be near them, but your range is so big that that doesn't matter. So this item isn't, I think it's a little too niche personally, so let's see what they're going to do. I feel like they're going to buff it. The Cosmic Drive stat shuffle made the item a bit more popular. This change aims to lower the barrier of entry of the passive portion and make it more broadly accessible to mages by removing the old passive and replacing it with a new one. Oh shit! By moving the passive AP into the base stats of the item, the skill set of this item is being reduced, so players aren't burdened as much about sequencing their abilities for the offensive payoff. I didn't think like them sequencing it was a big deal, but I guess Riot is just babifying the game even more. Ever since the jungle changes, Riot is really making this game for babies. But anyway, so the new passive, which I guess it's removing AP. Some of the, or 10 AP is going into the just raw stats. The new passive is damaging a champion, excluding Dot, which sucks. Generates a stack of movement speed every 1.5 seconds for the next 5 seconds up to 4 seconds, or up to 4 stacks. 10% move speed. At 4 stacks, gain an additional 10% move speed, now 20% move speed in total. Dealing damage refreshes this effect. Note, you only need to deal 1 instance of damage for it to start adding stacks on its own periodically. You then only need to hit them once again after a delay to fully stack it. You don't need to hit them 4 times 1.5 seconds apart. The intent here is that one spell does not fully stack the passive. I'm a little confused here. So, every 1.5 seconds, once you damage someone, you get a stack for 2.5 move speed for 5 seconds. 1.5, 3, 4.5. Okay, so if you hit them once. Wait, what? Wait, I'm so confused. You only need to deal 1 instance of damage for it to start adding stacks. You then need to only hit them again after a delay. What the hell? This is so confusing, but I mean, it gives movement speed. I forgot how much it gave before. But it also gave like other stuff before too, I thought. But who knows? This is a weird ass item. I actually have no clue how this change is gonna land. We need to see it. Clash Mount Targon Cup. I don't care. Behavioral systems. Reporting is now in match history. You can report another player by right-clicking on their row when viewing past game summaries in your match history. This is actually crazy because a lot of the times I would personally forget to report someone. So this, this is a good change because now people are going to be held even more accountable because after a game, some people just want to get into a game immediately, they forget. But now, like, you could do it whenever, which is really, really good. However, I don't know why, but this season we've seen some of the most, or not even this season, in the past year, I would say. In the past year, we've seen some of the most implementation into trying to make the behavior better in League of Legends, and somehow, some way, I feel like it's done almost next to nothing. People flame each other, people troll each other, and then people just like they don't care. Like, yeah, they get banned, but like, okay, you kill one worker and there's still the whole colony. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. So, at this point, I don't know what these changes are doing because it feels like they're doing next to nothing. Obviously, they're doing something, but it feels like there's no difference. So this is good though. This is good. This is a really like nice thing because again, it holds people accountable. Like, oh, after game, I could still get you, right? Which I think is a big thing now. But I don't know. I think just the fact that this is a free to play game and you could just make a new account and just start trolling people, and it's not hard to do so at all. It just doesn't really matter. Like, these are all things that I don't know if you can solve this problem, honestly. I think it's ingrained in just league culture. Like, let's just be dicks, honestly. But anyway, that's pretty good. Step in the right direction, but I feel like it's doing nothing. But we'll see. This patch includes a visual update for the challenges page. Oh, thank God, because this page fucking sucked ass. Previously, everything was sorted by individual challenges, which could be a bit confusing. It was. I'm still confused by it. But now challenges will be organized by capstone and groups, which should make them easier to navigate. Oh, thank the good Lord. I don't know fully what this means, but if it means like it's going to be simpler and more easy to understand, I'm all for it. I think challenges are a huge waste of time, though. I feel like who the fuck cares about this? I mean, granted, I am very much like a solo player now, so maybe it's more of a social thing, but bro, I feel like these are an entire waste of fucking time. Like, these give you nothing. If it gives you nothing aside from a stupid little title, I don't think many people care. But that's just me. I really don't care. Challenges came out, I was like, wow, this is so cool. And then I was like, okay, I really don't care. Because they're not things that you specifically sometimes want to go for in game. They're supposed to be things that like you just get and like you're like, oh wow, I got it. But it's like, well, then what's the point? You're just gonna play the game normally, and it's basically a stat tracker. It's honestly just a stat tracker. Like, oh, how many times have you done this? How many times have you done that? Like, okay, cool. I wasted more of my life on the game. Nice, and I could see it easier. I mean, this isn't a bad change. It is a welcome one, but it's just like I thought challenges would be cooler. They're not that cool. Mythic shop rotation, I don't care. Bug fixes, I don't fuck it. Wait, I saw Twitch. What was that? Here we go. Fix the bug where Twitch's RAOE would not inflict damage on himself and enemies while under the influence of Renata's Berserk, which is their ult. Oh, wow. Dude, there's some crazy ass bugs here. Holy shit. Fixed a bug where Aesol's enhanced R would not deal damage? The shockwave? That's insane. What the fuck? Dude, some of these bug fixes are crazy. And then we have skin bug fixes too. Holy shit. Okay, and finally, the upcoming skin. So we only have 4 this time. But I'm not gonna lie. These things are fucking hot. Now, I question something, and I might have to look it up in the background right now. But Dawnbringer Vayne, Dawnbringer Renekton, Dawnbringer J4, and Nightbringer J4 and Nightbringer Nasus. These look amazing. Now, I believe the Nasus and Renekton skins are from Wild Rift, but I'm not too sure. Let me look this up. Nightbringer Nasus. Let me search up Wild Rift. Was it on Wild Rift? Interesting. I think it was. Is this on the phone game? Let me see this real quick. No, this is on the website. It's on regular League. Fuck. Okay, fuck. I know there was like a Nasus and Renekton skin. I think it was like more void based or something. But I'm not too sure. And it's ironic too. I actually like the little inversion they did. Because Nasus is usually good, Renekton's evil, and now Renekton is like the good guy and Nasus is the bad guy. I think that's actually really funny. But anyway, not bad. I'm not gonna look these skins up because I don't want this to go too long and I'm short on time. But we could see the in games here. They're not bad. Renekton looks eh. Vayne looks super ugly for some reason. I don't know. It looks too out of place. It looks honestly like Arclight, but like it's worse. But I got to see the effects, which we're not going to see here. Like the splash art makes her look so good, and then in game it just looks like Play-Doh or something. And then the Nightbringer skins look like the Nightbringer skins. They honestly look more like Infernal, but it is what it is. Which actually makes me question like what this Nasus skin is doing. But anyway, not a bad choice. You know, Vayne has a shit ton of skins anyway. Renekton could use one, J4 could use one, Nasus could use one. So honestly, not bad skins. A little light, honestly, but not bad. I'm more excited for the next set of skins, but very interesting. So overall, this whole patch, as I've said a whole bunch of times to where it's gotten annoying, this patch has basically been like well within reasonable bounds of buffs and nerfs. There's nothing that crazy, except I guess the Kog'Maw stuff. But aside from the Kog'Maw stuff and Lilia, there's nothing that crazy buff and nerf wise. They're all well within like safe bounds. I mean, Cosmic Trap, I don't know what the fuck is they're doing with this thing, but overall, this patch is more just like eh. It's more like a whatever patch. I would honestly rate this. I mean, just because like Ezreal and Kog'Maw got buffed, 5 out of 10 Mark Merrills is just like is just a neutral patch. It's neither good nor bad. 5 out of 10 is neutral. I would rate this a 6 out of 10 just for the pure fact that Ezreal and Kog'Maw got touched. And in a good way. Not in a great way, although Kog'Maw's is better than Ezreal's. In an okay way. Excuse me. So overall, yeah, 6 out of 10 Mark Merrills. I hope everyone enjoyed my insights. I hope everyone will join me live at Twitch TV Tecnics channel, where I record these live to my massive, massive thousands of viewers, which you can be a part of too if you come along. But anyway, I hope everyone enjoyed, and we'll see each other again in 2 weeks when the next patch notes comes out. Eee!